Listen, I will tell you a tale. Be still, and I will tell you of Noggin, Prince of the Nogs, the young king who ruled over a country of mountains, ice and snow in the far Northland. It was a cold winter. The snow had fallen early. The Nogs had gathered their corn and their fruit in the warm days of summer. They had gathered wood for their fires in the autumn, and now, warm in their snug little houses, they were safe for the winter. Noggin the Nog was in his castle. He stood with his back to a roaring fire and looked out of the window. He spoke to Graculus, the green bird who was his friend and counselor.
Graculus, the birds are hungry. Look, there on the branch of that tree. See how they huddle together for warmth, and there is no food for them in the snow. Do you think it right that we should have food and fuel in plenty and leave them to starve?
You speak kind words, Noggin, but kind words will not feed hungry birds.
All right, don't rush me, Graculus. Go out and speak to your fellow birds. Tell them that all the birds in the land of Nog who are hungry and cold are invited to come to the courtyard of the castle at noon today. There I will build a bonfire to warm them, and there I will bring corn from the royal granary, and they may eat.
Open the window, Noggin. I'm on my way.
Graculus flew to tell his glad news, and Noggin went down into the royal granary.
Master Cornkeeper, where are you?
I am here, Noggin the Nog.
Good. Well, listen. I want 28 sacks of mixed corn, 43 bags of dried peas, and lots of dry pine branches for a big bonfire. Oh, yes, and those 17 bags of birdseed. You know, the ones we got in that time when Nuka wanted to breed canaries. You know, it was the year before that business was...
As the castle bell chimed the hour of noon, the flames of the bonfire leapt up, and from trees and forests, barns and housetops, the birds came. They came like a cloud towards the royal castle. They fluttered down into the courtyard like twittering, many-coloured snowflakes.
Come on, Thornodson, and all you guards, start throwing corn. Come on, birdies, lunch is ready.
The day wore on. The sun sank low in the sky. Since midday, Noggin the Nog, Thornodson, and all the warriors of the Royal Guard had thrown 12 sacks of corn, 5 sacks of seed, and 19 bags of dried peas. They were tired, but the birds had nearly had enough. Some had gone away to sleep, some were drinking water from the fountain, and some were sitting on the wall, warming themselves at the bonfire.
Well, I'm glad that's over. I haven't worked so hard for years.
What was that?
What?
I felt a cold wind. And look, it's getting dark suddenly. And look, up there, in the sky.
What is it?
I don't know. Quick, everybody, hide.
It was a bird. It was a blue and white bird with a yellow beak. It landed in the courtyard of Noggin's castle and stood there. Its legs were as thick as trees, and its head was higher than the highest tower of the castle. When it spread its wings, it hid the sky.
Greetings, Noggin the Nog. I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, yes. Greetings, bird. You are a bit larger than we expected, but I said I would feed the birds, and I will. Here are dried peas and seeds and corn which we gathered in the summer. Eat your fill and be welcome.
The Nogs watched the bird eat. It ate 18 sacks of corn, 7 sacks of seed, and a small cartload of dried peas. Then it drank the fountain dry and looked around in a friendly sort of way. Then it spoke.
I enjoyed that. The first good meal I've had for weeks. Noggin the Nog, I thank you, and I give you a promise. If ever you or your people are cold or hungry, call upon me, and I will give you food and warmth as you have fed and warmed me today. Farewell, Noggin the Nog. Farewell, Nogs.
What sort of a bird was that, Graculus?
That was a lesser orp.
A lesser orp? Well, let's be thankful the greater orp didn't come.
The Nogs went in to tea. They thought that they had seen the last of the great bird, but they were wrong. The time was yet to come when the great bird would keep its promise, and Noggin's generosity would be repaid many, many times over. So the great bird flew away. The years passed. Summers and winters came and went. Some years were good, some years were bad. One year was very bad.
Noggin, we have gathered in the corn.
What is it like, Master Cornkeeper?
It's poor stuff, Noggin, and very little of it. There's not enough to last us through the winter.
What shall we eat this winter, Master Cornkeeper?
Well, there's nothing else, Noggin. We shall go hungry.
Thormodson, Graculus, make ready a long ship. Fill it with treasure from the castle. We are going to the Southland to buy corn, and we are going now.
With Graculus at the helm, Noggin and 10 strong warriors rowed their long ship down the fjord and out into the open sea. There a fair wind took them and blew them towards the south. The Southland was rich, but her merchants were mean.
Is this the corn you bought with all that treasure?
It isn't much, is it? We shall be hungry this winter, but without it we should starve. Come on, we must start for home. Winter is nearly here, and soon the sea will freeze.
No wind came to help them on their way. The long ship laden with corn was heavy.
Noggin, we must rest. The men have been rowing for 2 days and nights. They must rest or they will drop at their oars.
We must keep going if we can, Noggin. Look, there are patches of ice forming on the sea. If we don't reach home soon, the ship will be caught in the ice and crushed.
Well, we can't go on if the men are too tired to row. Light the stove. Make the sail into a tent. We'll have hot buttered toast and cheese and a few hours' sleep.
Night came. The Nogs curled up and slept around their stove. In the pitch dark, the ship lay calm in the icy sea. For a while.
Hold tight. There's a storm. Hold tight, everybody.
There, it's past. What a storm. I thought we'd hit a rock or something. Look outside, Graculus. What can you see?
I can't see anything. It's pitch dark.
Oh, well. Back to sleep, everybody.
The Nogs slept until the cold light of dawn began to lighten the east.
Wake up, you lazy lot! It's morning!
The Nogs sprang to their feet and ran to the side of their ship.
Not one of them will ever forget the sight they saw.
Where are we, Noggin? Where's the sea?
There was no sea. In the distance they saw blue mountains, and down, far below them, they saw valleys and houses.
We're on top of a mountain.
Greetings, Noggin the Nog. I hope we didn't shake you about too much. We had to lift you from the sea before it froze and crushed your little ship.
Who said that?
Look behind you, on the rock. All the great birds.
Oh, greetings. Greetings, birds. We thank you.
Prince Noggin, many winters have passed since I came to your castle. The years are gone, but the memory of a promise does not fade. I was hungry and cold until the ice had reached my bones when I came to your castle. You fed me and warmed me, though I ate more than all the birds of your kingdom put together. That day I gave you a promise. Today it will be kept. Eat now, and then we shall take you home.
What are these? Huge nuts.
They've got sort of milk in them. They're delicious.
Hold tight, Nogs.
Two of the lesser orcs grasped the spar of the ship's mast, and as if it were as light as a twig, they lifted it and flew with it down the valley to where Noggin's castle stood. Noggin told his tale to the elders of the city, showed them the meagre store of corn that he had brought.
It's not much, Noggin, but we won't starve if we're very careful. Look up there.
Find out below.
There were many, many of the great birds flying down into the valley, and each of them carried in its claws a bunch of the huge nuts, which it dropped into the courtyard of the castle. By the time the birds had finished, the pile of nuts was as high as the castle itself.
Look at that. There must be thousands and thousands of nuts.
Well, that lot should last us through the winter.
And several winters to come by the look of it.
Goodbye, birds.
Goodbye, birds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.